So in this week's video, you see two of us into one video while we review a 6-into-1 product that's just landed on our doorstep. Now the thing with this product is, as we're testing it, we need somebody inside the man cave and somebody outdoors to manage what goes on outdoors. And because the weather is so cold and so wet at the moment, I've decided that I'm going in the garage while he waits outside to do the outside bits. You okay with that? It wasn't gonna be, Anna. Okay, let's get cracked on. And don't be long. It's blooming freezing out here. Presents time. Don't you love it when Christmas comes early? Got something through from a company that I've been using recently, and they're doing some upgrading stuff. Sent me a new one to try. Ooh, it's in a big long white box. Ooh, interesting. So this new product is from my friends at Kactoily that provide the technology for us to continually monitor our water parameters and monitor any water quality changes in the most convenient way. So let's have a look what we got. Gosh, warm in here. I'll take this top off. That's better. Got so warm in this garage. Andy's going to be miffed. So, yeah, new product here from Kactoily. The water quality testing has never been easier. These people from Kactoily create products to continually measure our water and water parameters to make life a little bit easier for us. Right, let's get some unboxing done. Okay, destruction manual, Kactoily 6-in-1. Here, you have a little cap at the bottom that protects the monitor or the probe inside. I think that's to put the probe in. Unit itself, look at that, nothing going in the top this time. Wireless. I was watching Up North Koi and he brought out, yeah, look at that, a British plug this time. Two of them. So that's better. I had to get my own last time. These are for when you want to calibrate the pH. Anyway, let's get it out and get it fired up. It's faffing around here. So anyway, now I'm really hoping this will work, because I know when I had the first unit, I spoke to Kactoily and I said, the thing is, this is going to be outside. Well, it's not going to be outside, but it's going to be inside my filter system. So how's that going to work? And we kind of talked about how it was going to happen, because my filter system, as a lot of you are probably aware, it's just a big long box that I've had to adapt to make the other unit fit. Now I said, don't you do a wireless version of this? And they were like, ah, that's for future. So of course, you know, they've continued to develop their products, which is great. You know, so now all you've got in the main monitor box is the power supply. Now the thing with this is, and one thing that sprung to mind straight away, is I now need 2 power supplies, whereas before I only needed 1, because this was connected to this by wires. So this was wired in to the top of that, so that read to there, and then that one did that, but it was only 1 plug. Now I'm going to need 2 plugs. The other thing that I've spotted, because this is wireless, obviously you're going to have some sort of a distance to cover wirelessly. So the maximum, it says for ease of installation, recommend to keep the distance between the display and the probe at 10 meters for outdoor use, 10 meters. So that's quite a distance for 10 meters outside, which is good. And less than 3 meters indoors. Then we're going to have to see if this is going to work or not. Is that this is going to be outdoors, where Andy stood at the moment, bless him, plugged in to the filter system, and then this is going to be here. This is ideally where I want it, because the other unit you can see on the wall here tells me the temperature outside, the temperature in here, and also the moisture levels in this garage. Why that's on, I have no idea. But there you go. So yeah, so I wanted this to go next to that. So in winter, I don't have to go outside where Andy stood at the moment and to pick the things up. It's snowing, it's raining, God knows what. I just want to come in here and go, right, what's the temperature outside? That's what it is. Bing, what's the pH in me pond? Ping, what's the temperature in the pond? And it will all be here. So that's what I want. We've got to plug it all in yet and see if that is where it'll be, because I don't know how far, and there's a brick wall in the way, and it's going to be in a wooden box, you know, between this, which will be in the wooden box, and this that's going to be outside the wooden box, across the garden, and in through a brick wall to here. You know, I know Kactoily send a number of these out to other YouTubers to review, and from what I've seen at the moment, everybody's doing them indoors. You know, they're keeping them in the filter house where they are, and going, right, okay, well, I'm in the filter house and this is how it's going to work. So, you know, mine has got to be a distance away from the monitor. So, I reckon we get cracked on. We send this out to Andy outside, and he can get this fitted outdoors. And as soon as he's done that, then we'll get this one fitted indoors, turn them all on, see what happens. Right, so I believe he's nearly faffing around in there, keeping it nice and warm. And I've seen he's taking his top off because it's nice and warm in there. Not impressive. Anyways, I'm going to move these around a little bit, because these open tops, because I'm going to need to get to that end, because I want to try to keep this monitor as near to the building where the garage is as possible. So I'm going to just quickly run through with you now sort of distances we're talking about. So the distances we're looking at here is down in the corner there next to the garage. That's where the garage is itself. But as you come along the building right to this end, now this is where Andy stood at the moment doing the indoors bit. That's where he's doing the indoor bit. So it's got to go all the way down here and into the filter system. So I'm going to try to get it as near to the building as possible to give it a fighting chance to make it. Right, that's a bit better now. So I've got these two end bits open now, because I want to try to fit this thing in further over there. Oh, in fact, the rain stopped a little bit now. Let me just dump this umbrella. Can't do this one-handed. Right, so at the moment, the other unit's plugged in down here, so I'm just going to get this one out first, and then just remove everything and sort of see if I can get it closer to that end, which is where the garage is. Right, so this is the old unit, and as you see, as Andy's just been telling you, you know, this is connected. So the monitor is connected to the other unit. So you only need one power supply. We're going to have to get two now, because one is going to be in the garage and the other one's going to be in here somewhere. So I'm just going to see where I can get this fitted and go for there. Fish are at the window, so I thought I'd just put a handful in. I think temperature's around about 9 degrees now in my pond. Anyway, let's crack on with this. So, what I've got with me now, the new monitor. God, it's so cold out here, my hands are blooming frozen. This, which is a bracket, you fit that into there, and then you can ledge it over the side. So it ledge it over something like that, so we're going like that. I don't know whether I'll do that or not. If I can make it work, I'll make it work, but other than that, I'm going to use the other way of doing it, which is, you've got these little stickers, these little suction pads things, and you put them in the back like this, and then you can stick it in. Maximum level of water, minimum level of water. So you usually kept it sort of around this area here, and don't forget I've got the little cap thing I've got to take before I put it in as well, so I'll do that now. And this basically just screws out. I have no idea what's in it, but if you're storing these for an amount of time, you just have to fill this vial thingy with water. It just keeps the probe nice and moist inside, and it doesn't dry out. Moist. Not sure about that word. Now, because this has got to go as close to the garage as possible, because I've got a big brick wall here that this wireless system has got to try to get through, and my other thinking is that if I can't fit it down that end of the garage where I've just shown you, I could put it at this end, because I have another area I can put it in, and I only have to go through a brick wall. So I'm going to put it, or see if it'll fit, in the last bay. So the idea is to get it fitted into this bay here, because then it's closest to everything else then. Because my power supply is only over there as well, so if I can plug it in here, then all I've got to do is reach to there, and I can take the other extension out that I had to use for the other one. Oh, now then, look at the spot straight away. A bit of a frayed power thing there. That's a bit annoying, isn't it? Ah, now then, what am I going to do with that? Right, I'm going to get a bit of tape and just tape that up for now, and then switch to Kactoily, because I don't know. I'm going to get some insulation tape on it. Right, there we go. Right, that's all plugged in now, so that's plugged in. I'm going to tidy them wires up in a little while. I plugged it in, I've not turned it on yet. I'm going to let Andy sort out what's happening inside the garage, and then we'll come out here, turn this one on, then go in there. Andy will turn the one on in there, and then we'll see how it works. And tell him don't be long, I'm freezing. And it started raining again. Right, so welcome back to the inside of my man cave. Well, it's slowly warm at the moment. In fact, the temperature in here is, oh, it's still quite cool, 15 degrees, when outside, 4.9. He's outside. Fantastic. Anyway, so yeah, so now Andy's sorted outside, but not turned it on yet. So we're now going to plug this in and see what kind of a signal we receive. So I'll get all this plugged in, give him a shout, he can turn his on, and then we'll see what arrives on this screen, or not. We don't know yet. So for this screen, like I say, we're going to put this here somewhere, and the ease of mounting these, and I'm not going to mount it yet, I'm going to wait to see what happens first, is that you've got these magnets. So this little disc thing, you peel the back off, that sticks to the back of there, and then this goes wherever you want it to go. You stick it to the wall, and then that attaches to that, and then that sticks up to the wall, and so on. So first of all, we're going to plug this in, and we're just going to see whereabouts in the garage, because this is the far end. This is what Andy showed you at this end of the garage. He's down at that end of the garage where the filter system is. Another wire. Now the best thing about this is that if it doesn't work this end and I have to put it that end, it's not a major problem, because I've got plug sockets that end and I've got plug sockets this end, so I can do either. But here is more ideal because I can just pop in and sort of working on whatever out on the desk, look up, and I can see exactly what I want to see. So this is more ideal for me. If it works here, I'll be impressed. If not, it'll have to go down the other end, and I can still manage that. Not a major problem. So let's get this. Right, while you were in there faffing around with Andy, keeping warm. I tried to fit this on. I thought, oh, I'll give this a blast, you know, because it's here for a reason. I'm sure I can find something else to use this for in the future, but I don't think it's going to work for this, and I'll show you why. So if you look at this here now, if I'd have put the unit, it's supposed to go through that, and obviously I can't because this is too wide. So my idea was to do that and then basically plug that against there, but I can't because the outsides of these multi-bays are too wide for that to fit in. So can't use that, but luckily I've got the little suckers, and that's doing a fantastic job. Anyway, we'll faff around with the wires in a little while. Let's get this plugged in first. So plugged into there, and then I've got my own little plug, which is now a British plug, so they supply British plugs to this. Oh, I've got one of these covers on it. You know those little, those protection covers when you get a new phone, or you get new stuff with a screen, and you can, ooh, satisfying. Anyways, make me giggle like this. So yeah, plug this in, and then I can then plug this into the wall right here. Right, I'm not going to turn this end on yet. I'm going to shout Andy now and get him to turn the other end on, and away we go. Let me just give him a shout. Hey! Thank you! Yep, no, man up, will you? Won't be long now. It's too hot in here anyway. It's like a sauna. Anyways, so Andy's now plugged that in. That's all turned in over there. We're going to flip this one on now and see what happens. I'll let you see. Usual Kactoily sound at the beginning. Ta-da! Oh, there you go. Very good. I've stuck one of the magnets to the side of here, which is where I want it to go, because it's going to go here. So that's right next to everywhere now. That's an ideal place for me. So the distance now we're working on with this, almost 5 meters, sort of 4 point something, from over there where Andy is by the filter system, through the box lid's closed, he's closed the lid down, and then it comes all the way through the garden to here. Thing I'm seeing with it, just, I'm getting an exclamation mark that's flicking up in the middle every now and again. Every now and again it just appears. Let me have a look at the manual. Right, manual says that if you get this exclamation mark, it's something to do with the distance. It may be just outside its reach, because it did say 10 meters outside, 3 meters indoors. But this is kind of, is it indoor? Would you class it indoors because it's inside that box? But it's got to come across the garden, in through this brick wall, and into here. Anyway, so but it goes off again. So it stays on for a couple of seconds. So if it's dropping in and dropping out, that's all right for me, because I'm not looking at it 24/7. I just come in, go, oh yeah, that's what it is, and away we go. So for me, superb. I now have a unit on the wall where instead of me going out in the winter and freezing my gonads off in the snow or the rain or whatever, I just come into here, I look at the temperature outside, temperature indoors, and what temperature the pond is, what the pH on the pond is, salinity, everything else it tells me on there, without getting wet, cold, and so on and so forth. Interesting. And it's dead easy. You can just kind of take it off the wall if I wanted to, take it off, put it back on again. I'm just going to tie these wires up and then we'll have a quick look. Right, so I've put it in the spot and I've turned it on, and fantastic. The only thing is, I have a funny feeling that this is literally on the edge of where it should be with regards to receiving signal, and I'll show you why. See the little exclamation mark in the middle there? That's telling me that the signal is lost. However, you see it's gone off again. So it comes on and goes off. I think I'm literally on the edge of where it should be. So at the moment now, what I've got on my man cave, I've got indoor temperature, 17 degrees in here, nice one. 5 degrees outside, that's whatever. That's basically how the humidity in the garage. But this is now, I can just come straight into here, but this is showing me all the parameters now. So I've got the pond temperature, my pH, that little exclamation mark's coming on, salinity 0.02. I'm not sure what these are here, and we're gonna have to look on the manual see what these other ones are. So for me, that's pretty good. I think all I'm gonna have to do, I'm gonna have to monitor where it is and the signal I'm getting with that exclamation mark, because if that signal continues to be on and off, yeah, it's come on now, but then it stays on for about sort of 10-15 seconds, then it goes off again. So I'm gonna have to keep an eye on this over the next few days and then just finish this video by seeing how, as far as I can see, that's the only thing that's going to give me problems at the moment, this how far it's got to be for the wireless to work, because I've just been and measured it, and it's nearly 5 meters. So it said 10 meters outdoors or 3 meters indoors, and this is indoors outdoors, or do you call it indoors because it's in the filter system and in the garage, but it's got to get from the from the filter system box across the garden, across the back of the garage into there. So I'm gonna have to keep an eye on this for the next couple of days and then conclude this video to see how it's actually done. Right, it's been a couple of weeks now that I've been using the new wireless Kactoily, and for me, does what it says on the tin. It's wireless. I don't need it attaching outside to the other unit that's in the I've placed in the filter system. I did a couple of tests actually on the pH, because I've had to move it right into the end bay of my filter system. Now that's the same bay that I trickle in water when I'm topping up or just doing a water change or whatever with my tap water. Now that was interesting because I wanted to see how it would affect this, because I think if you remember right, when I had the other wired in unit, I didn't put it in the last bay because of having tap water put in, but it seems like I've had to because of the distance between these things talking to each other, the base unit in the filter system and this here, which, like I say, is around about sort of nearly 5 meters. So I turned on the trickle in trickle out system. I'd done a bit of a clean of the first 2 bays, used an inch or so of water, and I thought I'll trickle in and see what happens. So yeah, I did that, and it only demonstrated what was in my tap water. So there's the pH is maybe point something, 0.0 something difference in the tap water to, you know, my pond. And this is what I saw on here. At the moment, this is showing me a consistent sort of 7.1, 7.13 actually on here, and that sort of fluctuates by 0.01 to 0.06 ish, which is interesting because when I did the pH, because the pH in my water is point something lower, it showed me on here it was point something lower. Because it was reading the tap water and the pond water as it went through my filter system. Now, I haven't got my trickle in, trickle out system on all the time. I only put it on obviously for water changes, for top ups and so on and so forth, where other people do run theirs all the time. So I suppose if your pH was very different in your tap water to your pond water, then you'd kind of struggle to have to put this in the same place. Your base unit would need to go in another bay or somewhere else where you've got just pond water, not mixing tap water and pond water. Temperature's been pretty constant, 9.6. I must admit, when I did first put this in, the pH was all over the place. It was jumping all over the place. Sort of 7.13. It's been like this for over a week now. But it was up to 8, 8.8, 8.9, 7.1, 8, back up again. And I contacted Kactoily, and they suggested that I changed one of the plugs. There had been a plug change. I think up north Koi had a similar issue. For whatever reason, they had an issue with the plug, so I just put one of my phone charging plugs on with a USB on the end, on the input SIF, changed it over, and yeah, it basically took a couple of days and it settled down, and it's still showing 7.1, so it settled down to what it should be, and it's been there ever since. So I think with these, it does seem to take a couple of days just for it to settle down and get the probe working properly, and I think, but anyway, that's what it is on that. Another little feature I wanted to show you on this as well. Short arms, long pockets. You hear quite a lot on this channel because I don't like wasting money, even a penny, and I don't like wasting that. If I have to, I have to, but you know, not major. So, but what I found a little feature with this is if you press and hold the tick here, and you hold that for a few seconds and then let go, it turns the screen off. So I'm saving myself a couple of pennies a year, because obviously these things don't use a lot of power anyway. But yeah, I thought that was an interesting little feature. So it's off, and then to turn it back on, you just press any of these buttons here, go press, and it comes back on again. Yeah, how cool is that? I am still getting, with it being here, I am still getting the exclamation mark coming on every now and again. It's not on yet, but any minute now it will probably come on again. Now I'll put it over there, which is telling me it's too far away from the base station, but it goes off again and then it updates. So for me, not a problem. And I think I've just proved that it goes a little bit further than Kactoily are actually advertising. Exclamation marks just come on now, and in about five maybe 10 seconds it'll go off again, and then it updates. So for me, not a problem. But this is ideal for what my needs are. Like I said, I don't want to be going wandering outside in the cold and the rain and the wet to go and see what the temperature is, what the pH is. To check the pH, I haven't got to start getting out my water test kit and getting freezing cold out there, getting water out the pond, coming back into here, drip, drip, drip on a test kit. I think what I will do, I'll keep doing this ad hoc. You know, I'm not going to bin this completely because I want to make sure that they're still in a similar read. So I'll still be doing this every now and again. I've found I don't use the salinity because I don't use salt in my pond, so that's nil and void for me. I don't use the salinity. I don't use the salinity, the salt bit. And then the other two, really, I haven't really used either. The main ones I'm using are the pH and the temperature. I suppose I should be keeping an eye on the parts per million of solids in the pond, but that seems to be a constant as well, 276. So if that started changing, then I'd probably do a bit more reading up on that one. So overall, I would say yes to this. It gets the thumbs up from me, bing, because I think it's worthy of what I need with my pond and my filter system. One thing I have asked Kactoily though is there future for putting this information onto an app on my phone? So, you know, I've done holiday videos before now where you go away and you can keep an eye on what's happening with your pond temperature and with your pH, and you get a sudden pH crash or something while you're away for a weekend, or if you're out shopping. If there's somewhere where you're out and you need to just have a quick look, you haven't got to be at your pond all the time. So maybe that's something for the future for Kactoily, but I've mentioned that and I'll leave it with them. So for me, yep, I like this. I like this, and I think it's a good little stocking filler as well. If you're looking for something as a pond keeper, or for the wife, or for your husband, or your son or daughter, whoever has ponds, or maybe a next door neighbour or a friend you know that has a pond, or even an aquarium. You know, like I say, these were first designed for aquariums, but the company is designing and working on these so they do aquariums and ponds. So yeah, a nice little stocking filler. They're not over expensive. I would recommend you getting one of these. Right, so while he's messing around in there, I just thought I'd be the bearer of excellent news. I spoke to Kactoily, and they are willing to give you a 20% discount if you use this link below, this code below. Use this, and I've also put a link in the description below if you decide looking for a stocking filler. And I said to Kactoily, great giving us a 20%, that's superb news. You couldn't give us a little bit more, could you? Well, we might be able to get maybe another 5%. So have a look on the website and log on and see what else you can get, because obviously I try to get as much discount for everybody out there as possible. So have a quick look on the website. I'll put it down in the link down there. If you like this video, please like, bing, these make all the difference, a thumbs up, subscribe and share to all your friends. So thanks very much from me inside, and Andy from outside. Thanks very much for watching. Quick pod last time.